I am so grateful that we get to journey together, that we get to collaborate, we get to share various unique perspectives, and through doing that, we get a really neat outcome. Our lives become wealthier. They become wealthier relationally, they become wealthier physically, they become wealthier spiritually, mentally, and even financially. So I thank you for that. I thank you for commenting, I thank you for sharing, and I thank you for just engaging with the brilliance that you have to offer, because it enriches my life, and in turn, we get to enrich other people's lives. Actually, there's a multiplication factor when we share, which is so much fun. So thank you for that. So I'm finally ready to share what I would call a comedy of errors. Is that the right word? Accumulation of errors that are kind of comedial. And I'm finally ready to say, I confess some of them. And the reason for doing it isn't because I really want you to laugh at me, although I have shared earlier. I'm okay with that. I don't even know that I want you to laugh with me. What I guess I'm hoping will happen is it will cause you two things. One is have an easier time just laughing at yourself. And maybe when you watch me laugh at myself and not be too stressed about the whole reasons for you to laugh with or at me, and either is really quite okay. It'll be easier to laugh at yourself. And then the second thing is that as we laugh, whether it's at another or with another or even at ourselves, it's actually easier for me, easier for you to learn. It's actually a good space from which to take in information. So when we're living from a place of laughter, and I don't mean I walk around all the time going, that's a good one. Because that would be really silly, right? And yet a sense of laughter and willing to have that belly laugh from time to time. So a comedy of errors. Yeah, I'm ready. I am ready. I've been stalling. Can you tell? I'm installing. So you know one of those days where it is sunny out and you're certain it's going to stay sunny, and so you look at your car in the parking lot and you go, it's all good. Because I have one of those convertibles where the roof folds up. It only takes like 60 seconds to close up, so it has nothing to do with not wanting to invest the 60 seconds. It has more to do with, it's going to be sunny, I'm going to go back out in it. Why on earth would I close it? Well, it doesn't always work that way, because we live in Canada, right? We live in Ottawa, and living in Ottawa means you actually never know when the skies are going to open up and there's going to be a torrential downpour. So that happened. Noticed well after the rain. Did not even think about my car, nor did any of my team members. Thank you very much, folks. Not that it was their responsibility, it was mine. However, it was kind of fun to say, you didn't notice? They didn't laugh. I was sure, I was somewhere between laughing and crying, because I knew that very night I was going to be going to the hospital to sleep there for a sleep clinic. And so, guess what was in my car? My suitcase, full of my pillow, my pajamas. Yep. So I thought, well, it's probably pretty wet, but it's not that big a deal. And I'm not going to close it now because the rest of the day is going to be really nice, right? Because it looked like it. And a short while later, the torrential downpour happened again. So I ran out, sealed it up. It was still working. It was a late night at the office, so I thought, it can't be that bad. Like, really, what, it's no biggie. So I get to the hospital, or the sleep clinic adjacent to the hospital, get all organized, or open my suitcase to get organized, and guess what was there? I could wring out my socks. I could wring out my pajamas. I could wring out the pillow, everything that I had brought. What are you to do? So the fleece, the zip-up fleece, because I didn't bring a t-shirt. I thought I'll just wear the zip-up fleece. I never had one of these. I didn't know what was involved. I didn't know they were going to strap something to my belly, strap something to my chest, put, I think it was about 30 probes in my head, strap stuff onto my legs. I mean, I had no idea. And so I laughed. I don't know if the gentleman I got to meet that helped me with this whole process thought it was quite as funny. I think he was very confused as to what was wrong with this girl who came with no pajamas. So I didn't put them on. I left my dress pants on and then just rolled up the legs because I had to put probes on your legs. I know. And the only thing I had in my car to attempt to dry up some of the leather from the rain and the 2 downpours was a tea towel. Well, do you know how much good a tea towel does? So my whole back of my back, my whole backside, everything was drenched anyway, except I couldn't put on the pajama bottoms because I could wring them out. So what's a girl to do? Laugh. So I hope and trust, even though I'm not laughing in this very moment as I'm recounting it, I am sharing because it's a funny story. It's a funny laugh at yourself. And it just progressively got worse because then the zip up thing didn't work. And then he wanted to know if I had anything else I could put on because I didn't really want to sit in the hall completely bare chested because that was the only gig. So I put my day clothes back on that was wet and not very comfortable either. And that's what I got to sleep in. I don't know if it disturbed my sleep any more than normal, but there you have it. So share your funny stories. Share the silly things you do that you don't even know why you do what you do. And it only got worse because then in the morning, of course, the car was totally fogged up. So it took about 10 minutes to unfog it because of how wet it was. And then Ken said to me, you'd better get it aired out because it's going to rust inside out. And I went, I know, but I don't know what the weather's going to be like today. So I took a gamble. It was another sunny morning the day after. And so I did that, except then it started to rain again. So this is a constant saga in our city. This is just my little plight. And I know you're thinking, well, you have a convertible, poor you, right? Well, it's still not nice to sleep wet, and it's still not nice to wreck everything in your suitcase. And I actually thought suitcase would be a little less porous. No, cloth suitcases, it's a new one, but do not matter. Completely like puddles in the suitcase. So what are you going to laugh at today? Who are you going to laugh at? Who will you laugh with? I guess that's the plight. You're allowed to laugh at me, though. That's totally good. So what's going to cause you to laugh? Because it will open up your endorphins, will increase your endorphins and open up your learning and open up just your ability to let loose and have a little bit of fun, lighten up a little. So enjoy and tell the story because that's really the point. I want to laugh with you as well. So what's one of your funny stories? Maybe about water. What's a funny water story? Let's start there. A funny water story. Share.